intro. He remembered my name and everything. That was awesome. Sure, he had to read it off his phone, but I'm counting it as a win. That was nice. Hometown hero, that felt good right here. Usually they just call me the local dipshit, so I'm moving up, baby. Guys, a little bit about me is I'm also married. I'm what's known as a kept man, okay? If you don't know what that is, that's basically the dude version of a trophy wife, right? Okay, like, my marriage is like the movie Pretty Woman, okay? Except she's Richard Gere, and I'm Julia Roberts if she were an idiot who collected Star Wars action figures, right? Like, my wife's typical day is providing for her family, and then coming home to this fully grown man-child. Just really excited to show her a cool rock that I found earlier that day. Now, I'm going to be honest, it's a farce, because I have to break it to her that I broke 2 of our vacuums. Because I watched an episode of BattleBots, and I wanted to see if I could make them fight. That table thought that was going to be a dirty joke over there. That's a different vacuum. I named her and put googly eyes on her and everything. And Sophia Vatgar really works for it, so give her a round of applause, everybody. Congratulations. We made it through the dumbest joke of the entire night, everybody. No, like I said, I'm a kept man. My wife makes the money, so we talk about money a lot. The other day we were having a conversation, or she likes to call them teachable moments, right? She likes to bring up the finances all the time, and you know, she'll ask me these hard-hitting questions like, hey, noticed you went out to lunch a couple times this week and spent some money. What's that about? Or, hey, you went out drinking with your boys the other day. Or, hey, you want to talk about this $800 charge to the Lego store? It's like, bitch, take a fucking day off already. Like, I have to use Venmo and Cash App like they're my offshore accounts, right? Like I'm in the mob, I'm like, I own this money clean. Nobody can touch that. You know, in case I ever have to flee the country on $17, I'm pretty set. No, I do. I make bad purchases, you know. I recently bought a Jeep. That's the worst purchase ever, right? You know, we got any Jeep owners in the audience? All right, that's the last time I bring my dad to a show. You ever try to people please somebody so bad you just buy a box on wheels? Like, I wasn't gonna buy a Jeep, but a dude in a car lot yelled at me and called me gay in front of my wife for an hour, so I'm just like, I've got no choice. This man, I don't want this stranger to think I'm gay. Here's all of my wife's money. Will it be good with all of it? How about you have all of it? And he really sold me on it, right? Like, I thought it was gonna be like part of this fraternity, right? You know? Like, I thought my life from here on out was gonna be nothing but off-roading, Oakley sunglasses, and rubber ducks. Okay? But instead it's just a high gas bill, I have a perpetual sunburn, I'm obligated to wave to every other dickhead on the road that made this poor decision, right? Like, y'all know about the Jeep wave, you know? That's what we do as Jeep owners to let each other and everybody else on the road know that we're virgins. That's all that means right there. I didn't know about the Jeep wave, right? First day driving around, some dude threw it up to me. I snubbed him. I didn't mean to, my bad. He took it very personally. He decided to pull up next to me, roll down his window, and confront me at the light. And he was just like, hey! When you see a Jeep wave, you do a wave back, son! I said, okay, sorry. He was like, okay, and another thing, son, they can go fast, but we can go anywhere. Then he threw a rubber duck at me and he just drove up the side of a building. Like, all right, that's pretty intense. But it is a good feeling, though, you know, when you trade in your old busted ride for a new ride. So I think I'm going to keep that momentum going, and I think I've decided I'm going to trade my wife in for a new model. That's usually where I lose them, is that joke right there. Like women and married men that ever want to get laid ever again are just like, not my cup of tea. And some people are like, that's the best thing I've ever heard, ever. Just guys that don't care, right? You know, I get it. That's not a nice thing to say about my wife. Like, you know, so I get that reaction. But it's a lot better than a reaction I got one time in the audience, you know? Some dude tried to take me up on the offer, forcing me to choose between standing up for my wife and making a pimp decision. And guys, I'm not proud of what I did. I gave him the Carfax outright. I was just like, well, man, what we're looking at here is it's a 1992 white millennial. I'll be honest with you, man, she doesn't turn over like she used to. Headlights are a little bit wonky, but never been rear-ended, like I'll be damned, like not even on my birthday, like isn't that some bullshit? Like, my wife hates that joke, by the way. She's like, you know what, maybe I wouldn't have so much trouble turning it over if you just pop the hood and jiggle the starter every once in a while, you know what I mean?